What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 22.
22.
This episode, we're going to be going over all of the fun accessories that you guys can put on your gun. Everything from practical accessories to impractical accessories.
To what we call James accessories.
My accessories are pretty practical.
They're practical, just expensive.
Yeah, I mean, I really have I have nothing else to say.
As you can see in the base of the screen here, we have we dressed up a couple guns.
Oh yeah,
to show off as we talk about it.
You can see the tip right over there.
Yeah, just the tip.
Yeah, just the tip, just peeking in.
Oh, the TV turned off again. Give me a moment, viewers.
You can even see it in the shot.
Oh, someone wasn't muted.
Yeah,
I also think I'm not muted.
But yeah, while this is doing that, just a couple announcements. We have Operation Follow the Rising Sun. We have a lot of interest in that. It's going to be a great game. Make sure that you guys pre-register to save $5 online. That's our World War II event. It's on July 2nd. Most of the missions will follow actual battles that happened in the Pacific Theater of War.
Any examples of which battles?
For the first battle, you can guess where that's going to take place, right on Pearl Harbor. So
I was going to say California.
California. Yeah, remember that time when the Japanese invaded California?
Remember when they invaded Alaska?
Did they do that?
You know that?
I didn't know that.
Oh
no.
God, it's a really cool. I feel like every time we start the stream with me telling a World War II story about Japan ethics. It's the only time U.S. soil was breached. Actually, it's 2 times. That was one time during the war it was breached by Japan, and so they took Alaska for like a significant amount of time actually, and the U.S. slowly took it back. Took a couple months, and they actually did a mass suicide when they were surrounded, so none of them would be captured.
That sounds like something the Japanese would do.
Yeah, very Japanese.
Yeah.
The other one, this is actually an interesting tidbit, is Germany. There was one time during the World War II in which Germany set foot on U.S. soil, a German military person in an offensive move, and it wasn't.
Wait, a person? So what? He just.
No. It's interesting. Is the U.S. had a huge advantage because global climate systems go west to east. So we knew what the weather was going to be in Europe a few days before the rest of Europe did because it would pass over the U.S. first. So they went over to I don't remember exactly where it was, but it was somewhere in like the southern U.S. and they put a weather station in and then dipped. They like pulled a U-boat up. It was like somewhere in like the Cuba area kind of stuff. They pulled up, put a weather station down to transmit back to Germany and dipped. And all it was literally to tell weather. It was there for like, I think until like 1970s.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's a good one.
It's an interesting story.
That is an interesting story. Yeah. So it should be a great game. And also Don't be confused. This isn't a very hardcore game. It is our 4th of July event, so it is going to be America's birthday. So make sure that you guys are showing up, ready to party. We're going to have a great raffle at the end. I've already got a couple great guns from G&G to raffle off. Probably have a few pistols, maybe from like Elite Force, stuff like that to raffle off as well. Don't forget our Crazy 8 event. You know, that's the event.
That's the event. That
is the event of the year. That's the year that Jet comes up, Leah, all those crazy guys. I've already got G&G, Polar Star. I'm assuming he's going to say yes. They said they were going to do that.
Usually he's pretty good about coming up.
Yeah. I'm going to hit up Wolverine. They said that they'll look into it. Kate of Way is interested. Elite Force is absolutely coming. Balkan is absolutely coming. Z-Shot, he just needs to look at the dates, make sure he can come. So, and last year we had an NAPC from the National Guard here. We have the rock wall again. Food trucks. It's a party. So make sure you don't miss that.
It's just killer. Plain and simple. It's an amazing time.
Yeah. No, it's going to be great. It's going to be great.
Yeah. Any other announcements? I think that's about it.
That's just about it.
Yeah. We should work on the field layout soon because we want to change it up.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
I'm just finishing the mission list, and then after that, once I have the mission list and I know what
I'm
doing with the field, then we're going to make it. It's going to be very interesting. To get this was one of Dez's ideas that I kind of like quite a bit, is we're going to be orienting the buildings to create kind of like a street, like a town. I know right now they're kind of just placed randomly, and there's not much sense to it, but it should actually be pretty great. So it'll feel like, there's actually a street in between buildings and you can move up the street, fight around it. It should be pretty good.
Choke points, but not at the usual choke point where it's terrible.
And I'm not going to get e-bike to come because they're our competitor. Don't know why I would do that one.
Yeah. Not just because they're a competitor, but...
Yeah. Well, yeah, there's other reasons, other business reasons why I would rather not have e-bike here, but the easy explanation is they're our competitor.
Easy explanation is no.
Yeah, easy explanation is no.
But on to today's topic, is talking about kind of like, we've talked about a lot about the interior builds of guns, things we like putting into them, so on and so forth. We haven't really talked much about what we would put on the guns, and so we thought we'd take today to kind of do that. Unfortunately, Dan can't be with us today; he has prior obligations. But
feeder kids.
And so I kind of quickly built up like a long gun in the store. James threw together a short gun, a Scar H. I did the Elite Force G28s. There's a lot to go through. We kind of just threw whatever optics on it for a moment, but we'll definitely, or whatever items on it for a moment. We're going to kind of go each type of item and kind of talk when and what we prefer is our preference and when we think that each is most useful. So I figure, probably one of the most, actually, no, that's a good place to start. All right, someone comes in, they buy a gun, they have some money left over, and they can buy one real accessory. What would you say number one priority accessory is?
A sight with a sight protector is huge, especially in Airsoft. I mean, yes, you're gaming the BBs half the time, especially if you're outdoor.
I was going to say for indoor, well, keep going.
I would still say the sight just because lining up your iron sights just takes time, to really line them up and get it in there. But with a sight, a lot of time you can keep both eyes open and just look down the sight and get, there's just that target accusation is so much faster than anything else.
No, I agree with you.
So I always recommend a sight. After that, I would do flashlight. Yeah, the flashlight that doesn't fit on here.
You could at least put tape on it.
I could have, but we started a little late anyway. But yeah, and then a flashlight after that, and then after that would be a grip, and then lastly a laser. Laser, you really don't need.
Whole priority list.
Yeah, so that's my priority list. But first one is definitely a sight with a sight protector. Don't get a sight without one of those.
Fair. So I would say, if my preference is if you're going to go for a short build, I would actually, if you're going for an indoor heavy build, I might say flashlight just ekes ahead of sight, in my opinion, as long as the gun at least comes with iron sights.
Yeah.
If you're a brand new player, though, honestly, a sight makes a world of difference. And so yeah, a sight is really, really big on my list as well. I'd say sight and flashlight are very, very close. And then things like grips really depend on the player, and also almost call it a negative thing is, or a delete option, I should say. If you're playing outside and your warranty is up,
yeah, that's a big one.
Remove the orange tip.
Oh, absolutely.
Or even better, is actually one of my favorite things is I believe it's the G&G SL series, or SR series.
The SR series.
SR series. Sorry. They have a QD flash hider right out of the box, and you can buy a G&G suppressor that screws.
Yeah. Well, actually, it's not a G&G suppressor. That's actually one of the PTS suppressors.
Well, they have the G&G suppressor goes on too.
Yeah.
I special order them for someone before
Yeah.
So I know. But or you could really go all out and do accessorizing like this, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what the funny thing is though?
That was here.
The rail didn't. No, yeah, this was here. The rail for that you put onto these guns, they're meant to hold, like a laser and like a little optic. Because you picked up the gun, the rails just fell off. That's why it's on something and no one's holding it.
That's funny.
Oh god, that was an old picture of ours. But yeah, I would say really things like I said, like shooting your laptop. For me, really, it's the scope and the flashlight, and there's a million options for either. Things like bipods are great for long guns, but I'll be completely honest, they make the gun look great. They're not really that practical.
Yeah, bipods. I mean, like if you're laying down with a bipod on your gun, like in an airsoft game, you're probably not being very useful.
And the funny thing is, last week's topic was the recon, the whole recon thing.
Yeah.
Is I have a bipod for my gun because it looks good, and then I take it off when I play. I'll be completely honest.
Put it on
with
for
you there.
pictures.
Is because the thing is it's like it's that much lower that you can't go.
Yeah.
It's this compared to this. It's a big difference.
Yeah. No, I agree.
There. But like I said, to each their own. But that's my personal thing. But yeah, in terms of optics,
What's up, Jesse? Hello.
You're really bad at just interrupting people and doing that.
I am. But
It's
I don't know
really
when she's going to stop watching, and so I wanted to make sure that she saw it live. You're not the only person to sigh at me constantly.
So, as I was saying...
Family, co-workers... Sorry, I can keep going.
In terms of optics, let's since you did the short gun, give me your preference on what to use for an internal, like gaming inside and stuff like that, type of optic.
So I kind of did an interesting one. I did a short dot, and the nice thing about this is actually 1:4 variable zoom, so anywhere in between I can do that, which is why I picked it even for an indoor sight, because it does have this very large, like a viewing reticle. And the nice thing about that is I can actually just really easily look down at it. And this is actually by Vulcan. And the crazy thing about this is less than $100. And I mean, clearly it won't work on a real gun. But for an airsoft gun, for a short dot, I mean, it has the Vulcan logo on it, but it's not hideous. Like, and normally a Vulcan would destroy it with their branding, but they're actually pretty good this time.
It's so painfully true.
Yeah, so
it's so bad.
It's actually, it looks pretty good. It lights up red and green. You have your wind adjustments. It has this cool looking mount on it. And like I said, it goes 1:4, so if you don't like to have the zoom in an indoor scenario, you can just put it all the way to no zoom, and it works just great. So that's why I like that. And then if you ever go outdoors, just bump it up to like 2x zoom or 4x zoom, and you're golden.
So clearly, like, indoor sights are important. Would you think, this is a good way to, right here, this picture, it's a good way to do a sight? I mean, there's a TV above you.
Oh, absolutely.
That way, no matter where it ends.
Vinny? Or that's Jimmy.
I think that's Jimmy, yeah.
Yeah.
That way, no matter how it ends up in front of your face, you're looking down an optic.
Yeah, that's one logic to do with that one.
I think there's even some more funny ones. Oh, that's a boring one.
Ooh. I'll actually be up here pretty soon.
There we go.
That's the one right there.
I love it. But
Vincent.
So you were saying, yeah, like a short dot, things like that.
Yeah.
So for indoor, I really like the. Now, again, this is personal preference kind of thing. I run an EOTech because again, it looks better. But the reflex sights honestly just work so well.
Yeah.
Because you have such a small bezel around them.
Yeah, no, I set this gun up like if I were to do my own kind of setup with this, but the setup that I run is a bit different. I like the reflex, the EOTechs and the AIM-1. No. EOTech and the T1.
The issue is the reflex stuck outside.
Yeah.
Because
even on the brightest setting,
you can't see them. So if you're going to play a gun indoor and out and you don't have multiple uppers, run a tube, like you said, a short dot.
Yeah.
Because then you get a little bit of sunshade effect, and even outside you can see the dot just fine.
Yeah.
Reflexes are just honestly useless outdoors. I've learned that. There's one time I went to go play with the EOTech on my gun, and I literally turned it on, like, oh, the batteries are dead. And I went to walk over to the car, and I was like, oh no, batteries are fine, just can't see it.
Yeah. Actually, this is an interesting little topic to bring up. So Ninja Shift, James, actually JD, we have the same initials. He said, if I put an optic on my gun, I would probably have to put a riser on it because I'm right-handed but left-eye dominant, which sucks. And that does suck. But
you can train your eyes.
Exactly, but if you're good and you practice it, you can train your eyes based on what shoulder you have your weapon on.
Right.
Which, trust me, it's something you should work on.
Yeah.
That's like next time you come in, James, try that. Just that should be your challenge for the day, is to get fluent with on both shoulders, and that'll be your goal for the day.
Generally, you're correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I remember reading that your eye dominance comes from whichever eye is like slightly higher, works slightly better.
Yeah.
But it's all just brain trickery. You can really just change it as you wish.
Yeah.
And actually, a good trick to play is the whole finger, hold a finger out in front of you, and without closing an eye, change at what point the finger's focusing.
Yeah, my favorite one is to do this. So actually, if you guys are watching, you can do this. Look at an object that's across the room from you. Take your hands, and then with both eyes open, put that object directly in between your circle. So right now I'm looking at the camera, right? And close one eye. If you can still see the object, that's your dominant eye. Close your other eye. If you can no longer see the object, that's how you know which eye is dominant, which eye is not.
So he knows what eye is dominant. I'm saying the way you can train your brain to kind of switch is you do something similar like that. Like if you hold your finger close to you see it's over you see two fingers basically.
Yeah, yep.
And you can kind of train your brain to focus on, without closing an eye or the other, you can kind of train to focus on one eye or one finger or the other, and that can kind of transfer the dominance without moving your finger. But either way, I mean, that's beyond the realm, beyond the topic of this.
And then it becomes one. Yeah, look at that, it's one finger now.
Yeah, you'll have to if you focus on it. The point is to focus past it. Focus past it and then see which one finger or the other, even though it's one finger, but you know what I mean? Left or right. This is a silly topic. But what was I going to say? Now, in terms of outdoor, it again really depends on the role you're going to play. If you're playing just a regular rifleman, like I said, a short dot's good. I very, very much so like magnification, at least crosshairs, not necessarily magnification. I like having true crosshairs when playing outside. You can trace your pellet in the scope. You don't need to fire a bunch of rounds and watch it with your eyes.
Yeah.
You can fire one round, see where it goes. But you guys know me, I like the stealth.
Yeah, man, you're using your mil dots with Airsoft. Like, all right, that's 2 mils away, 300 feet.
Anyone can do it.
Some calculations real quick.
Anyone can do it. So, like I said, for a regular rifleman, I really like 1 to 4 zoom scopes, and you just crank your scope to 1 zoom for most things, and your brain can get in it really, really fast. And honestly, if someone's so close that you can't scope on them, you probably don't need the scope.
Yeah.
But it's a great solution for that. I'm not sure if the camera can see it. Is if someone's close enough that you don't have time to scope up, that's where something like offset sights are great.
Especially in Airsoft, when beams are designed to be hopped vertically up.
I was going to say, offset sights like this are a bit much because you're at 45 degrees. I have 1 o'clock sights, which is just this, and that works fine for someone.
Are those 1 o'clock?
These are 45s.
Oh, okay.
Or like 3, not 3. They're like...
They look like a, what is this?
130.
Yeah, no, they look like a 90, or not a 90 degree. Why can't I think of it?
45?
No, not a 45. I'm thinking
30?
It's 60, 60 or 30. Yeah, looks like a 30.
Yeah, this is too much. I mean, like I said, on my other rifle, I kind of have them just like this, like literally 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
Which is 30. So this is definitely more than 30. But still, either way, point being is they're great for targets 0 to 100 feet. You can kind of account for the hop up a little bit. That's if you really need to run a high magnification scope. Again, with the 1 zoom scope, you're going to be able to scope up more than fast enough.
Yeah, no, that'll be fine.
It's just a thing, exactly. Now, if you're playing that long range role like we've discussed, and like you might use this as the Elite Force G28, which is actually a pretty baller gun.
That one is actually one of 250 made, so that's one of the unique serial numbers. We still have one of those, the one that you see right there.
This is...
I think it's number
40?
Yep, that's number 40 of 250 made.
Damn.
So we still got one. We have 1 left. So if you're looking, honestly, like I've always said, like if you buy one of those and
go up in value.
Put it in your closet for like 3 years, you could make a profit off of it. Easy.
It's so well trademarked.
Easy. You could make $600.
It doesn't have the giant Elite Force warning on the magwell anymore.
Yeah, it's right there. What does it say right there?
Heckler and Koch.
No, right above your finger. Right above the ejector port.
Oh.
What's engraved? It's like Accessorizing document done.
It says German.
Yeah, it says German.
But Deutsch.
Yes.
So what I was gonna say is, if if you're running that long range approach, that's where like the kind of 3 to 9 scope is useful, which is actually what I have on here right now. And I think this is, no, not quite. I run a scope very similar to this. It's another NC Star scope on my DMR. You know, the gun that I've spent a bazillion dollars on.
At this point, haven't we all?
And I run a $30 scope. You know what's funny, James? I grabbed this out of the showcase. Tell me what's wrong with this scope. But continuing is yeah, and like I said, I still run at 3 zoom most of the time, maybe 4 zoom. I really don't push it past that unless I'm really trying to spot something, but I never shoot anywhere past, like I said, 3 or 4 zoom.
Yeah.
Figured out yet?
Is it on sideways?
It's on sideways.
Does that really make a difference?
Yes.
What do you mean? It's left and right, doesn't matter if it's up.
Except the
orientation
the dash for like your zoom settings off to the left side. And does this have the?
Okay.
Does this have?
That's a big one.
Does this have the range finding reticle or not? I think it's just a standard dot.
So you put
the eye relief is like here. Yeah.
Oh, there it is. No, it doesn't.
All right, so that's not too bad. It's still silly.
You're right. This thing is heavy. I can curl this
thing. Is like, you know, right?
I'm gonna work out it on the podcast.
All right. Yeah. If you viewers have any questions about anything we're covering, from optics to whatever, like I said, just throw it in the chat.
Yeah, like lots of
questions. We'll
answer
them when we can
on stuff like that.
But yeah, like I said, I really love these offset sights. They're just cool.
Yeah,
I like an offset dot more than an offset.
Yeah, but like I said, especially in Airsoft, that's about as practical as it can get. We're professionals, by the way, guys.
Clearly. No, what was I gonna say? So we both mentioned flashlights as our second priority item. I know I have my favorites. What are yours? I know you use a...
Flashlights?
Yes. Let's assume the user doesn't have night vision.
Why?
Oh, I don't know.
Because that's 90% of... 95%.
99. You are the 1%.
Ha-ha! Protest about it.
Go to that night game.
Yeah,
roadblocks.
Actually, yeah, while we're on the subject, real quick, guys, if you want to go to a night game, this Saturday night from 6 to midnight at UBG is a night game. I will be there.
Not sponsored.
What?
Not sponsored by them.
No, we're not. I just want more people to show up. And yes,
he wants more targets.
Exactly. That joke has already been made by Mr. Dowling. But yes, I do want more targets, but I also think that playing at night is, like, no one does it. And so, I don't know, bring your flashlight and learn how to play at night. Just come to the game. There's already going to be like 70 people there. Let's make it past 100. So, this Saturday night. Anyways, so the question was flashlights, yes?
Yes. What is your preference, assuming they don't need infrared? And maybe what's your preference if they do need infrared?
So if they, I guess I'll just get my answer out of the way with infrared. If you want infrared, absolutely get the Surefire M600V. That's the Scout. Get that. If you get the V variant, it comes with a bezel. I left it in my gun case at home on my real gun. But what you do is you pull it out and then you rotate it like 60 degrees and you push it back in, and you can change it from white to infrared light. So that's kind of cool. So you have it has dual options. So that's when I highly recommend get like a 45-degree offset mount for it. It's mint. But if you don't need that, I like this one. Is if you get a Surefire, an older model M951, and then you open it up, you can get them used for like $90. You can get them used and then drop a 500 lumen LED light in there. They come with a lamp bulb in it.
Oh, ew.
Yeah, which puts out like 100 lumens, and then you can drop an LED one in there that's brighter.
And how much is the lamp?
The
LED.
It's like $5 to $10. Yeah, okay. And then you have a real Surefire light that can handle recoil on a real rifle. Waterproofed, all the good stuff. And it's like
basically you're buying a casing.
Yeah, you buy the casing for it, which is nice because Surefire is great. If it ever breaks, Surefire will back it up. So actually, I had that specific shot out. So sadly, it doesn't survive a BB shot. But if it ever breaks, you get that surefire warranty on it. Just send it in. It's a little bit of a wait, I will admit, but they'll hook you up with that.
Cool.
So that's what I recommend. And but if you're more so balling on a budget, the Night Evolution M600s, they're the surefire knockoffs. I mean, you're not going to get any warranty with them, but for $60, it comes with a pressure switch, a quick hand cap. It's really hard to beat it. And for $10 more, you can get an offset mount. That's less than $80, and you have a full setup on a pressure switch. So
speaking of offset mounts, it's really nice. Is you see them a lot in Airsoft. And, for example, I've got one set up on this gun here. Is the advantage is, of course, it's not really applicable in this case. James has his upside down on his gun, but it puts the
upside down.
It's upside down. It puts the pressure switch right in front of the your grip usually, which is kind of nice. So you don't need to have a pressure pad hanging down with extra wires and all that kind of stuff. You just have the light chilling there. It's more durable too.
I like my pressure pads.
Oh, I know you do, but you have to admit, not having it, it's like not having a line with why you don't, PDWs don't have an airline. It's just more things get tangled.
Yeah, actually real quick, Jason had a question for you. When you're looking down the scope, do you shut your eye or do you leave it open?
Magnified scopes absolutely shut my non-used eye. Dot sights absolutely keep both eyes open. So that's the whole point of the reflex sight with a really, really thin bezel, is that you always, that's something we should definitely mention, you always keep both eyes open so you don't lose half of your vision.
Yeah, your peripheral vision.
And that's why they have a small bezel, is you end up just seeing a dot way in front of you, not necessarily looking through the sight, even though your vision is through the sight.
Yeah.
However, with the scope, you can't really track the pellet if you have your other eye open, and that's the reason I use the scope, is to track the pellet. So
yeah,
because these guns do get accurate enough. Like I said, you can literally be like, oh, that shot was 5 feet low. Oh, hit him.
Yeah.
So, but
that's actually a good topic that we can bring up later on, is our different ways to utilize your sights and stuff like that.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
keeping your eyes open, closed. That'll be a good one.
Flashlights, my preferences. So, I completely agree with the whole surefire is where it's at in terms of quality and stuff like that. But I do realize that most airsofters can't drop $400 in a flashlight.
Yeah. I respect that. I mean,
even I find it painful to drop that much on a flashlight, because it doesn't need to be.
I didn't pay that much for my light.
Oh, shut up! Don't even go into that.
And everyone around me hates me.
No,
should I tell this story?
No, stupid people try and do what you did, and
I think they've ruined it. Yeah,
and they literally ruined it. We're not going to mention names here, but
yeah,
someone we know ruined it. I'm pretty sure.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's not only his fault. Someone on my team tried to do that. Basically, there's a trick to get. Not a trick, but
I just would leave it alone.
Yeah, there's a way to get a newer model surefire light. But I've had a couple. I learned about it online. I did it myself, and it worked for me. And then I've told 3 other people about it. And
cheat code doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, and the cheat code doesn't work anymore for real life. And then those 3 people have been denied it. They've been denied their newer model light. I'm not going to tell you how I did it. But so I have a lot of salty people when I'm like, yeah, no, I paid like $170 for my $400 light. New and packaged.
I bet that sounded great on the microphone. Back to what I was saying though, is I understand that most airsofters are looking for maximum maybe $120 for a light.
That's why I suggested the M600, the Night Evolution, the knockoff.
Well, see, I was gonna say I really like the Phoenix lights better than the Night Evolution one, honestly.
They work better, but
I still prefer them.
The design of the
styling is better. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
On the Night Evolution, but
I'm the person I hate it when people are like, that grip doesn't really work with the flow of the gun. I had someone say that to me the other day when I was showing
James,
them.
James, you'd be the first one to say that.
I know. Not really.
Yeah.
I'd hold it first, and then appearance would be second.
If I had an OD grip on a tan gun, you'd be like, yeah. See.
Yeah.
Done. I win.
All right. I've become the person I hate.
Point being is I really, really like the Phoenix lights. 2 specific models are my favorites. We've mentioned in the past, but I'll bring them again real quick, is the TK16 I really like for indoors, and I have it on my indoor upper. The reason I like it, and if I found another light on the market that did this, I'd probably buy it, is it has 2 buttons. One button is a main beam.
Or the TK16?
One button's a main beam, and one button's a strobe.
Yeah,
I
it's
hate
on 2 separate
flashlights
buttons.
where you have to
Double click it.
because that's useless to me.
Yeah.
Or you have to flip a lever and you can't pick one or the other. You know what I mean? I don't know why that's not a thing on more flashlights. It really, people in the freaking industry make flashlights with 2 buttons.
Yeah, because usually, like the Surefire lights, they're all either steady on or pressure on.
Right.
So like one button toggles it on.
Right.
Which, in my opinion, if you're gonna turn it on to leave it on, that should be on the light itself.
Right. Agreed.
I don't care. I don't need to quickly turn it on for a very long time. You know?
Well, like even the Phoenix lights it has 2 buttons, and one of the buttons is a click, but you can still pressure first. Like it's kind of like an AUG. There's a very you can soft press it, and it's on, and it's momentary.
I know what you're talking
and then
about.
you push it hard enough, and it clicks, and that makes it stand. To me, the Phoenix button system is the reason I bought the Phoenix lights. I love that.
Yeah.
It is 1 button strobe, 1 button main beam. The strobe is always at the brightest setting. The main beam has 4 brightness levels. Beautiful. And then when I run my outdoor gun, is actually what I have fixed to this right now, and I wish I had a battery in it. It's the TK32. I waited probably like a year and a half for this light to come back out.
But I was actually able to get the newer models now. So like that's like the most up to date model. I think that's the same one you have.
Yeah. So what's really cool about this one is you have a main beam. Oh, sorry, I should mention the TK16 is 1,000 lumens, and it's a real 1,000 lumens.
Yeah, it's not like, I mean, you look at pictures on their website, and the TK75, which is 3 of those flashlights put into one housing,
is stupid.
It lights up the side of a mountain.
Yeah.
Across a lake.
Yeah, it's insane.
And I'm pretty sure they didn't touch up that photo or anything like that.
It's probably long exposure, but still.
Yes.
Point being though is the TK16 and 32 are both 1,000 lumens. The TK32 is still actually brighter because it has a more focused beam than the TK16. So 1,000 lumens has to do with the brightest point in a light, which is really deceptive because I could have 1,000 lumen light, but it could be it could have a curve where there's just one tiny speck that reaches 1,000 lumens. The Phoenix lights have great spots. You have to admit that.
They do.
Their spots are really spot on. It wasn't even intentional, but the number to look at is candle power, and I don't remember the exact specs on this, but it's a huge.
It's all in their box.
It's like 40,000. It's something stupid.
Yeah. They're good.
And what's cool about the TK32, and the reason I use it for my outdoor guns, is it has a built-in navigation red light, as well as your main 1,000 lumen beam.
And a green light.
Generally,
Christmas lights on it.
I was going to say, I haven't had a time when I go, I need a green light. Usually red light's what I use. But it's really great is you just put it on like red moonlight setting, and you navigate through the woods without ruining your natural night vision.
Yeah.
And then when you need it...
red light doesn't reflect off of surfaces as easy as white light.
Well, really the reason is it's just... red is a lesson because it's a longer wavelength, or shorter wavelength. Shorter, yeah. It's a less intense light. So blue is the most intense color. Hence you have ultraviolet will burn you.
Yeah.
Infrared doesn't.
Okay.
So infrared is on the other. You have the light spectrum, then you have red to blue, violet in the light spectrum, and then past red, what you can't see is infrared, and past blue, what you can't see is ultraviolet. Ultraviolet's very intense, and that's why blue dot sights show up so well, because it's an intense light. And that's why red is great for night navigation. It doesn't cause your iris to, or your pupil, to, what's the opposite of dilate? Contract.
Something like that.
Constrict. I don't know.
It's good for your eyes.
It don't get small. Point being is it's just much better for night navigation, and I would highly advise anybody who's playing at night to bring some kind of red flashlight with them. Even if they have a white light on their gun, bring a red flashlight for navigation. Whether it's just a lot of people just have them clipped onto their helmets, And when you're walking back to spawn, you clip it on kind of thing.
And it's a red light too.
And it's a red light, exactly.
It doubled two birds with one stone right there.
Exactly. And it's good for like that, what's that right in front of me? And you click it on real quick, you go, oh, it's a log I would have tripped over, and you click it off. You know?
Yeah.
And
it's not like a big beacon of light.
Right. And most people won't even notice it.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is really
And
useful.
if they do notice it, they're like, oh, there's a dead guy over there.
Right.
And then you've trolled the fuck out of someone.
Oh, God. There's actually, at most games, red flashlights don't count as a red rag for that reason.
I can understand that.
And probably the best example of what I'm talking about here is the last Spring Offensive. I know I keep coming back to this, but it's the last game I played. Is I used, like I said, the navigation light, and for once, Crew 4 was really disciplined, or Green, I should say, was really disciplined about not turning on lights when they didn't need to. And my natural night vision was able to get to the level where I was able to literally walk right through the brush and never trip, never stumble. I knew exactly where I was going. I was seeing people I'd never seen before. Like I said, we wiped a squad of guys using night vision.
Yeah, more the reason to come to that night game.
Right.
Right here, this whole squad of night vision, only one of his guys, only one of what, 3 or 4? How many people were you with?
1 out of 5 of us had night vision.
Against the whole squad of night vision, and they won. So come to the night game, Saturday 24th. I'm not being paid to say this. I just really want more people to show up.
And so that's kind of, well, either way I was saying is it just allowed my night vision to build naturally, and it wasn't even full moon. It was like a half moon or something like that, or new moon. It was dark.
Yeah,
it was
dark. Yeah, it was dark.
And that's my issue with night vision. My only issue with it is that when you pop that night vision up, your eyes are like.
that's one of the nice things about the monocular. Really, the only benefit of the monocular is the fact that you have one eye that's exposed to the natural darkness. So whenever I have to flip it up, I'll actually close my left eye, my dominant eye. Because some people say run your monocular on your offset eye. I find that I dominate with my left eye, using my dominant eye. That way, I can pick up everything, because at that point my right eye is truly doing nothing.
Right.
But when I flip that up, I'll close my left eye and just navigate with my right eye in the dark. It's tough, but I mean it's how you do it.
Now, speaking of accessorizing guns, have you ever personally run a night vision device on your weapon?
So, I haven't done it personally. I've met people who have.
So I've done it. I want your opinion, and I'll give mine.
So it's cool. I mean, it's cool. Like, it's hard to explain, but just by having the night vision monocular on your gun, you know, the whole point of night vision is to see at night. I'm more concerned about seeing what's going on around me than being able to better aim down my scope with night vision. That's my personal opinion. Totally I'd rather have my eyes do the work, and then the nice thing is I'm able to co-witness that. So what I do is I don't have it in. I need to get an infrared sight, like an expensive ass EOTech or T1.
You do.
But what I do is I put my sight all the way really down low, like the lowest bright setting, and then I'll look for someone. These are actual tips. So if you're listening, this is actually what I do. And I'll be standing still. I'll usually be crouching in like a bush or something, and I'll wait to see movement. And when I see movement, I'll look dead at them, and I'll bring my rifle up, and I'll co-witness that. My dot will go right on it, and I'll put 3 shots in them, and then bring it down. So in a way, I do have I can use that in the same fashion. So long story short, I do like to have it on my head. I think it's a little restricting and pointless to put your very expensive night vision on your gun.
Well, see, so that's actually exactly what I was going to get at, is I would agree with anything Gen 3 and Plus run it in the monocular and we'll get into it in a moment, but have some kind of infrared laser or sight on your weapon.
Yeah, we'll get into the infrared a little bit later.
But I will say is that, so I ran a Gen 2 on my gun. The reason being is running it as a monocular, it wasn't better than natural night vision.
Yeah, like you could get Gen 2, yeah, that would be pretty good.
And so I threw it on my gun, and I had this is years ago, I still had the D-ball. I got the D-ball so long ago. And I just would pop on the infrared laser and pop on an infrared illuminator when I thought I saw something, fire a couple shots, click it back off.
Yeah.
And again, it's because it was more detrimental as a monocular than it was as a rifle sight. And on the same token is I couldn't shoot people at night with a scope, because that's what I hate about illuminated scopes. I think they're the stupidest things in the world.
Yeah.
Because illuminated scopes,
so
you go, cool, I see a crosshair, and nothing else.
Yeah, you get kind of sucked into that.
But then when you're aiming at a very dark object with black crosshairs, you also ain't seeing shit.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't aim. You're like, I think they're in the middle of my scope. Oh,
Actually,
nope, I missed.
real quick on that subject, Matt Dowling had actually asked, "What are your feelings on flip-to-side magnifiers?"
Huh. I was actually going to bring this up. I saw mine on my bedroom, on my side table. I meant to bring it. So, I have 2 flip-to-side magnifiers. I have one that's a round tube, one that's a square tube. Here's the issue. The EOTechs don't work great during the day because you can't actually see the reticle because it's not a real EOTech.
Yeah.
Fact of the matter is, a real EOTech you can see it fine during the day. Airsoft ones, and I'm not spending $800 and putting a real EOTech in my gun.
I mean, if you want a real EOTech, now's the time to buy it. Now that there's a whole issue where the EOTechs weren't performing in cold weather, they won't hold their zero, and so EOTech was offering to buy back sights. But for us, normal civvies who aren't using their gun in Arctic-like conditions, the EOTechs still hold it fine. So some people are selling EOTechs for like $300, $250, so like a 5.52.
Nice.
If I ever have any extra cash and one comes up for sale again, I'm gonna grab one.
Either way, what I was saying is, so the issue is, I've tried running the magnifiers outdoors, not useful indoors. Plain and simple, there's no point for them indoors.
Yeah.
I've tried using it outdoors. I used it for a game, and it was kind of nice. It was nice when you wanted to be like, hey, that guy's far away. You snap it, and actually the fun thing is the way mine was set up is I could literally just go with my gun and it would
just flip
click
on,
close.
yeah.
And then I had the release right above my trigger. So I would just and pop it. So I could be like long range, short. It was fun.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of fun, and it was great because you could trace the pellets over long distance really, really easily. The issues I ran into is that Airsoft magnifiers don't work like real ones, and they wobble. And so the dot ends up moving around inside that magnification. And it's not like you're losing your zero. It's just a lot of times you find
really
yourself
annoying.
readjusting it. And exactly, it's just annoying. The guns look fucking amazing when it's on there.
Yeah, they're
though.
cool as shit.
It looks so good. I have, on my 416 upper, I still have my QD mount for one of my magnifiers because it just looks cool. Especially because I have the one when you look through, it's a square window. It's not.
Yep, I know. I looked on that one.
It looks so cool. It's so cool.
It's very different.
But at the end of the day, I don't know. It just hasn't been useful to me. It's possible in the right scenario. If you're going to play a game where there's heavy overcast and it's a darker area, or maybe you're playing at the that main op, that might be a good place as well, where there's a lot of shade and a lot of indoor. Then maybe a magnified flip to side isn't the worst. Like I said, the issue I always run into is that when they flip over, the dot isn't in the middle of your magnified area, and it's annoying.
Yeah.
It's just annoying, but it's cool.
So basically, in short for the viewers, if you want to do a flip to side scope, get a real EOTech $1,000 flip to side setup, and then scope. Get the whole setup.
And a real flip to side is also $800.
Yeah, so you can get the whole kit for like. Didn't you tag me in something like that?
Okay, used.
Yeah, used.
Brand new, the whole kit's gonna cost you probably $1,600 to $1,800.
Yeah, little consumer tip for you guys: when you spend money like that we spend on products, that's the point. Like when you get into the real steel world and you spend that $800 on an EOTech and the flip to side mount, the thing is, when you spend that much money, make sure you buy it used.
Make sure
absolutely
you want it.
Yeah, well, I mean the thing is, always buy used, especially with real stuff, because you have warranties with them. These companies, there's a reason why they're so expensive, is because those companies back up their product with everything they have.
Which is why they don't depreciate.
Exactly, which is why you can sell it for the same amount that you bought it, and if it breaks, you can get it replaced for free.
Right.
So just spend the money up front.
Exactly.
I will always preach that.
Yep. So I personally like buying product new, but that's just because I'm me. I don't know. But same thing with the EOTech though. I'd probably still buy it used if ever. Maybe when I get a real gun someday, I'll throw it on
This
there.
is an interesting one.
What's that?
I don't know who's in front of the computer, but you're probably gonna get kicked.
What's this? Thanks.
Is that you?
I mean, technically, we're both in front of me.
Yes, I don't know. Who are you insulting? Be more specific.
But either way, like we don't need to bring up chat where people are just being dumb.
Yeah.
So, what was I getting at though? What would you say the next mode? Well, actually, you know what? We've talked a lot about infrared and night vision and stuff like that. Let's talk about laser aiming devices.
Okay.
I'm actually gonna let you get started. I need that kickstart.
Okay.
I need.
While I get started, he will get a kickstart. Sounds fair.
And you'll just give me a quick synopsis. I'll be like 10 seconds.
All right, so I guess I'll get this started. So the thing with laser aiming devices is they're cool. You kind of feel like your special forces having a laser. Like yeah, this is rad. But the issue I have with at least visible lasers is the fact that they're visible. If you're pointing at something, like let's say there's someone behind cover and you're pointing at them, the issue with it is the fact that, let's say I'm behind cover and there's a laser dot right here on this pillow, right next to me. But I'm behind cover, so he can't shoot me. So I see that laser dot and I'm like, okay, there's someone, of course, aiming this laser dot. And that way, and just by knowing that, I can assume where that person will be. So you've already given away your position with a laser dot like that. So I tend to not use laser dots just for that exact reason. Is just the fact that anyone who's been doing this for a while will be able to tell the fact that someone's right there. So once that laser clicks off or it moves away to a different target, at that point I can stick my head out of the cover and I already have a general idea of where he's at. I can find that target and then shoot him, and he would have gotten away with it if he kept his laser off. So
you would have gotten away with it if it weren't for the meddling kid. Those meddling kids. What? What?
This guy's fucking funny. Just I'll let you read it. I'm not gonna bring it up.
All right. Keep going. What you were saying. Thanks.
It's funny. It's really trying. At least, it would be nice if I knew who this person was, so I can be like, oh yeah, that's right, I pissed that person off 3 years ago or something.
Yeah, except whatever.
Yeah. Anyway, so what I was saying in your absence was, I tend to not like using the red lasers, simply for the fact that if you leave it on, like let's say let's say I'm behind cover, but someone has a bead on me.
Right.
But they're letting me know that they have a bead on me by having their laser right here. And so by doing that, I already have a general idea of where they're at. So when that laser moves maybe to a different target, I can immediately pop out and I almost already know exactly where they are.
Right, no, I agree with you.
So that's why I prefer not to use it. If you're gonna use it, put it on like a pressure switch, and really it should just be one of those things like where if there's a target and you don't have time to really line up your sights, click on that laser real quick for just a quick, target activation, put 3 rounds in them, and then click it off. So that's what I'd say. It should really just be for a point of reference when you really need it.
Yeah.
Other than that,
no, I agree completely. I agree completely with you.
Also, I should also note. I'm sorry. I'll get into the infrared part of that. I was going to say.
You can jump into infrared. Yeah.
Well, I was going to say you can also use your red laser to point out targets too, like to your teammates. That would be helpful. Like me, I'm very much so.
I mean, it's useful. I would say even that's useful during our regular, game. That's be the one time our red laser is really useful.
Yeah, because like if you're someone like me, where people try explaining things to you, and sometimes they just don't click.
And sometimes it takes 10 minutes, but the person's done by then.
By the time that I know what you were talking about, it's already not relevant.
Right.
So just having the ability just to click on a laser, be like, I'm talking about that building, and just put a laser on it. That's huge. And the same thing with infrared. I really don't use my IR laser that much. Like I said earlier, the way that I'm able to engage people, I don't even have to click on any IR source, which is huge because if I'm engaging people with night vision, they don't even know where I am.
Right. And that's where having that money,
that's where it's a little pay to win. But I mean, isn't that what America does with their military? I mean, we're by far the most funded out of any military ever, and we have all the fun toys, so it's kind of like that. I mean, of course, there's training, and the United States military is the best. But even still,
right.
The reason why I have an infrared laser on my rifle is simply same thing. It's even worse under night vision, because under night vision, you're not crowding together. You should never be crowded together. So imagine trying to talk over comms quietly about an object that you see in night vision,
especially when it's mounted to your shoulder.
Exactly. Yeah. It's so hard to do. So that's why it's nice just having an infrared laser just popping up and pointing at it real quick and being like, that's what I'm talking about, and then turning it off.
No, I agree with you completely on that. Now, we both use the GMP D-ball system. Well, replica.
Didn't.
Yep, I did.
He deserved it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Unnecessary hate.
exactly, right? No, point being is we both use a GMP system. The one I have on the gun, this gun right here, actually, and I think you have it on that as well.
The D-ball?
Yeah, the GMP
yes.
D-ball replica. You've actually, do you use the small one or do you use the full-size one on your
So
gun?
I have the full-size one, and the only reason that I have that is because I didn't know this existed.
Yeah, same.
Exactly,
Yeah.
because...
The infrared illuminator on the full-size one, it doesn't do much.
Yeah.
But
like it's-
the IR laser on it, and even the real laser, the regular laser on it, are both
extremely powerful.
unbelievable. I love them.
If you they have this on Red Wolf. I mean, you can get it in here at our store, of course. But if you go on Red Wolf, they actually put in parentheses toy version, and I'm pretty sure that's because
It's basically real T-bones.
it's like it has the intensity of a real Class 3 laser, which is why I don't like to use it, because I always feel like it's
yeah, but like you said, you're
what
turning it
Patrick
on. Like,
says.
there's the person. You know?
Yeah, it's kind of like what Patrick said. He kind of feels bad for frying people's irises, and they can't even tell. By
Right.
blasting like an IR laser at their face, like you're blinding people, you don't even know it. So, I'm all set with that. But yeah, this is the compact unit with just because this one also has a visible laser too, so it's literally the
exactly.
best part of the bigger unit, but lighter and more compact.
And it has both momentary and constant on buttons. It has high power and low power.
And this one's like $40 less.
Right.
It's by far the superior product.
It's so great. It's just an amazing product, really. What do you call it? What else?
Have you tried the grape nos? Dowling is asking.
I don't like the NOS.
You don't like NOS?
No,
No?
not outside the car.
I don't like them in your car either. That's just so bad for your car.
Yeah, but if you're gonna do like a dragger car or something.
Yeah,
like that.
if you have money to rebuild your engine every 4 days.
Yeah, you can do it reliably. Actually, Becky has that on her truck.
Oh yeah, that's right. Doesn't Ryan have that on his too?
I don't know.
No, he has meth.
Yeah, his method. That's a totally different thing.
Yeah, it's different. Anyways, off our tangent.
As always. So another big thing everyone buys are grips.
Yep. I mean, if that's personal preference. Some people, they just like your basic rail system. Like they're just comfortable in them. Other people's is the foregrip or the angle. Then other people's is just the vertical.
Right.
I'll let you explain. I think you explain it best.
Yeah. So I'm going to start saying is if you're a person who holds the gun by the mag well, you should probably get a grip.
Yes.
The reason being here is at this point, none of your arms are in any kind of locked position, and trying to hold a dead point far away is much more difficult.
Yeah, and also you have all of this weight is now in front. Is now in front, and that's causing that has a lot of momentum. And so when you're pulling this, let's say if you guys have your gun out with you, I mean, I like to imagine that people watch this like fondling their guns. I mean, I would watch it fondling my gun. But if you hold it by the mag well, look at one point and then choose a target to aim at. So right now there's an exit center in the field.
You'll find you overshoot it.
Yes, exactly. And I just did it too. I overshot it. But by holding it right here,
you can lock in.
I was much quicker to get that.
Absolutely.
And so that's why I like having my guns. I'll never use a gun that's too long.
Don't buy a Sharp TV.
Don't buy Samsung too, apparently. Yeah, my TV broke this week. That sucked. Anyways, but yeah, that's why I like having my barrel end where my hand ends.
Right.
It's just that way I have full control over my rifle.
Yeah, no, so, and similarly, so go back to the grips though. What I was saying is that if you have a short gun or you hold it mostly if you have a short gun, I'd say the vertical grip's the way to go.
Yeah.
I will say another thing is really trying to avoid what we call broom sticking it, is don't hold the grip like this. So distracted. Don't hold the grip like this, and the reason being is similarly, the gun wobbles very easily. You don't have a lot of control over the roll of the weapon.
I usually will hold it like this.
Right,
like
and that's the way to do it. And really, that's what
right
the grips
here.
are how they're meant to be used, is almost as a hand stop.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying be like, Magpul style right here. But
yeah.
is just wrap your hand around the rail system and use the grip as a stop. Works very, very well. And you can even come a little bit lower if you need to with your thumb still on the rail system, like such. It just helps you lock in the...
And then the nice thing is when you're running, you can just kind of grab it and you have full,
Right.
you just have a good grip on your rifle. So it's, I like the vertical grip. I'm a vertical grip guy.
And then, see, I was saying on long guns, which is probably why I like them better than you, because I run long guns, you run short guns generally, is I like the angled forward grip, and the best way to explain why is as you hold a gun, the further your... It's gonna weigh so much. The further your hand moves out, the more it kind of rotates naturally. So a gun that I'm holding way out here is kind of at that natural angle. Though the further away you are from your mag well, the slower it is to maneuver your gun, but the more fixed you're gonna be. It's all hard to explain, but either way is whatever comfortable to you. But in my opinion, most people I talk to in the store, customers, I'll kind of show them what I mean. I'll be like, oh, you have a long gun, try this grip. And generally they like the angled grip far away and the short, stubby, vertical grip close up. Because it kind of just, that's the natural angle of your hand as it rotates. But again, to each their own on that is, but on the same token, it's kind of in the same topic is weapon balance can be determined a lot by the accessories you put on it. James knows more than I preach weapon balance. Is right now, like this gun.
Would you rather have a light unbalanced gun or a heavy balanced gun?
Heavy balanced gun. No questions asked. Is my my Bolty that I built a couple of years ago weighed probably 20 pounds, but everyone loved to shoot it because I literally opened up the L96 and filled it with clay and lead, so that the balance point would be over my grip. So my favorite favorite place to have a gun balance is either just in front of the trigger or ideally right on the trigger. The reason being is that this becomes the aiming hand. See, right now I can barely hold the gun up like this. And it's
work out more, bro.
It's just, yeah, I can do it. It's just, also try it. Just hold the gun level.
Man, am I about to embarrass myself?
Hold the gun level like this.
All right, give me this monster.
Yes.
I worked out today. I've already worked out.
Okay.
There we go. Left hand. There we go.
But point is, it's
my right arm is not as strong as my left.
It's destroying. So we know which one's used at night. No,
Believe it or not, I'm actually righty. For those of you who wanted to know. Anyways, I'm sorry. Hey man, nothing about my life is a secret.
So as I said,
is
try and balance your gun behind the magazine. If you pick up any of my guns, other than the LMG upper, because that's just a whole different story. If you pick up any of my guns, you'll find that the balance point is right and around where the trigger is. And again, the reason being is that one hand holds the weight of the gun, the other hand aims.
Yep. And
it allows you to lock in your sights at very far distances with not much wobble. When it's somewhere in between, it's like more variables. It's harder to lock in that target. And it's also harder to come up fast because you have all this weight up front that you have to control rather than just rotating on a balance point in the back. And as such, I use the Magpul PRS style stock because it weighs a fuck ton and it brings the balance point of the gun back. And the same, relating to your question, my gun's pretty heavy.
Yeah.
But it balances well, so it feels great.
Yeah.
And that's really heavily my preference there. And that's why there isn't much for accessories on the front of my gun other than the flashlight when I need it. I take the flashlight off when I don't need it, just because, like I said, I don't want to mess up my balance.
Yeah. I understand that.
Where do you like to balance your weapons? What?
Charles said, James, you're fired. Finish the work, we can go home. I guess it was after that comment I made. It's whatever. Deal with it. I'm sorry. Wait, what was my question? There's a few things that actually I want to bring up on the YouTube chat. The YouTube chat has been lit. So actually, well, first of all, James had asked, do suppressors really work on Polar Stars, or are they just for looks? He asked that a while back, but yes.
So well.
Yes. That's really all we need to say.
Yeah.
Yes.
They work.
Life-changing. I said it's like night and day. I responded in chat.
Yeah.
And let's see.
I mean, to give you reference, I had mine set up firing a 0.4 gram pellet at 415 FPS at 120 PSI with a black nozzle. And the thing is still quieter than most guns.
Yeah. Benjamin Tran asked if the Masada is a dead platform. I don't think so. I think it's still pretty cool.
It's not as cool as when Magpul owned the license to it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they sold it to Remington and Bushmaster, right?
I don't know. I'm not up to date on that one.
It doesn't have the support it was originally advertised as having, but it's still pretty cool.
Yeah. Let's see. James asked again about these lasers. Here at the store, I think this one in specific retails for $150, and I think the bigger unit retails for $200. So the infrared lasers are pretty expensive, but I mean, like we talked about earlier, they're absolutely.
I'm not gonna lie. I like the look of the bigger.
Oh yeah, no, the look of the bigger one is so much better, but for practicality.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's see. Charles said that he's usually doing dishes or cooking dinner when watching. He also says LG TVs are for the win. Ben, he asked if we like offset lights for mounts, or offset mounts for lights.
Yeah, we actually brought that up a little bit ago. Me and James actually have opposing preferences on this. So here, if you point your gun at the camera, I like my flashlight mounted below and I guess looking from the back east of the barrel. I like southeast of the barrel. I guess James likes the exact opposite. He likes northwest.
I do like that.
Now, yes, so same thing. You'll notice on both of us, we have the guns mounted on our dominant side. I shoot right-handed. I have it mounted on the right side of my gun. He shoots left-handed, has it mounted on the left side of his gun. We've discussed this in previous podcasts, but the reason being is someone shoots at the light, they're more likely to miss you.
Yeah.
Again, just, tactics. Furthermore, I like mine low. You can reach the button if you need to. Why do you like yours high? Just the looks?
So I like mine high. First of all, what's up, David? How you doing? Heart you back. He said, "Hey, dude." He said, "Hey, dudes," with a heart. He didn't say he loves me, but I would understand if he loved me because, I mean, I love you too.
There's got to be someone in the world.
Yes, someone has to love me, right? 8 billion people, right? I'm just gonna cry myself to sleep.
No. I haven't even been ripping on you that hard yesterday.
But I like to have my light in this position because a lot of people like to hit their lights with their thumbs, which is cool. But for me, I like to.
Jan here?
What?
Which is cool.
Yeah, which is cool. No, that's just my way of saying yeah, I like the way you do it, but my way's better. And the reason.
I was making a different joke. But
I know, but but Dan says which is nice.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, he's been trying to. So he says.
No, I know. I really appreciate.
He says which is you. What he's trying to fix that, but he still says which is cool. He just switched up the word at the end of that statement.
But I love Dan.
So Jesus loves you too for your super cheese effect. I am super cheesy. I know it's horrible, but I also think cheesiness is funny. Anyways, back to the point I've been trying to make, is that I like to have my rifle set up so that no matter what shoulder I'm on, I have the same points of reference for all of my gadgets. So I have my dual pressure switch right up on my top rail. So I do very much so like the thumb over bore setup. And the reason for that is that I have my laser usually in the front or back. It doesn't really matter for that one. But if I'm on my right shoulder, it's the same spot. Click on my light, and then I switch my shoulder, same spot. So no matter what, because then of course training would fix out any of that small discrepancies,
right.
Which is the counter argument to my argument is well, just train.
No, it makes total sense. Yeah.
But I just like having my top rail clear and just having my pressure switches on there.
I do something similar where I always put my pressure switches on my grip. If it's an angled forward grip, I put it on the center of the grip. If it's actually same thing if it's a vertical grip, and same difference when I grab it with either hand. It's just instead of using my thumb, I like to use my ring finger.
Yeah.
But either way, same difference. I totally get where you're coming from.
Yeah, so that's how I would set this up. I didn't have time to set up a pressure switch system for this, but if you look at my
takes a little bit of time. Yeah,
but if you look at my AR or my regular rifle, that's absolutely the way I would do it. I always love having my pressure switches. I'm a nerd about that. I'll zip tie it all in, keep it nice and neat.
Oh no, I should have
my wire management is on point.
So, do you run? Something we forgot to put on these guns? Slings.
Slings, yes.
What type of sling do you prefer? I really like the 3-point setups. I'm a big fan of that.
So, I like my single point setup. I like having it right at the base of the gun, right where the stock meets the gun. I think that's a happy spot for it.
So if you need to sprint or say climb something or whatever, what do you do with your gun?
So that's where. So I should have probably finished my thought with that, or answered it more fully. So I do like the 2-point. That's something I've started doing. Maybe I think for a few months now. I actually have a QD location on my PTW where I just switch it right to the front.
Right to it. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
that's exactly what I do.
So, but for the most part, 90% of the time, it's in the 1-point configuration. Because if I'm in an airsoft game, it's not like the real military where you have your gun shouldered, like 1% of the time. It's the opposite. Right. You have it shouldered 90% of the time.
A lot of these AOs have ladders and stuff like that. And
yes.
It's a bitch to go up a ladder when you're trying to hold your gun.
Yeah, and I would rather not pass my gun up.
No,
I know.
I agree with you completely.
I've seen it gone bad at least 3 times with ladders. Someone goes to hand their gun up, and they think the other person has a grip on it, and then it just...
Goodbye, gun.
Yep, and it's like...
Stop doing things better. Sorry, headphone users.
Sorry, headphone users. Ripping pepperonis.
But,
yeah, it's bad.
Also, worth noting, because this is actually
the sound of money right there.
This is something that I didn't realize was done differently from person to person until like maybe a month ago. And do you have your gun set so when you throw it on your back, it's barrel up or barrel down?
So,
when you're in 2-point mode.
Proper
so basically do you have the sling on your dominant shoulder or your off shoulder? I have mine on my off shoulder.
Mine is on my dominant shoulder, which is the wrong answer for that, because having or is it the right answer? I forget what it is. Do you want your barrel pointing up or down? I think it's down.
I mean, that kind of becomes user preference, to be honest.
Because I like having that weight further up. Because having all that...
So that's the thing, is weights further up, more junk can get in your barrel.
Yeah, but and I'm okay with that. I mean, it's airsoft, you just shoot twice, so you should be cleaning your barrels anyways. But I like to... Because when you have your body, your receiver, down near your hip, that's all that weight bouncing off of your hip. But by having it up there... I
thought you meant something different. Okay, I thought you meant because when you have the barrel... Well, again, I run long guns, you run short guns. So the barrel ends up sticking a little bit past my waist, but I keep the receiver up by my upper back. I do barrel down.
Yeah, I do. Barrel down is the more... I find it's the more balanced option when it's on my body.
I agree with that.
So I like to do barrel down.
Okay.
But usually it ends up being barrel up, just because I run my sling on my dominant shoulder, which is something I should just train for that off.
Now, I will say, when you run it on your dominant shoulder, it's easier to go off shoulder. It is.
Yes.
No question about that.
Yeah, which I think is why I've had that set up like that for so long. It's just simply for the fact that like we talked about earlier in the stream, just my I'm so fluent on both of my shoulders. The ability to transition between the two of them is a top priority for me.
No, I completely agree. My top priority is obviously just running comfort when I'm on the dominant side, and that's just a priority difference.
Actually, this is one thing that was brought up that I actually have been meaning to try for quite some time, the tactical clip. So it's basically...
I actually set up my gear so it works like that, because basically I set up 3 thick mag pouches here, and I leave a gap between it and my dump pouch. So I can literally just throw my gun on my back and it ends up falling in that notch between them. And I can literally sprint around and my gun stays right clipped in.
So I kind of want to try that.
I think it's great. I think it's an awesome idea.
Because that way I don't even need to change my sling. I can just kind of clip it to some point on my belt or even on my plate carrier. And there's other ones where I think the Cry gun clip is just like literally just a C that you just put your gun into. There's others that you get a rail attachment to put on your gun.
I like those the best. Personally, I like those
and then the interfaces with the system on your belt. So there's a lot of different options. I've been meaning to try that out. I can't say I have any experience with it though.
We should get those in.
Yeah.
If they're not, bazillion stupid dollars.
Yeah, I mean, even I think that the Cry one is like $30.
Right. Yeah.
For like Cry Precision. That way you could be like, yeah, I got Cry.
No, I absolutely think it's a great system that I've been meaning to look into, and it was one of those things I was like, oh, that's awesome, I should try that. And then I went to an op and I'm like, just the way my stuff's set up, I don't even have a reason to try it. But actually, now that I run the full vest, it doesn't work as well as it used to. So I might do that and try it and put like a clip on the side here, so it can just sit like under my armpit kind of thing if I needed to.
Okay. That's a good idea. No, I should try that out.
Yeah, we should bring those in. check them out, see how they work. Any other interesting questions before I bring up my next interesting question?
James just asked, what's the best regulator? The Wolverine Storm or the Redline for HPA. They're both excellent products, first of all, but I do like the Redline.
Yeah.
I've had Redline products for quite a bit. I've sold quite a bit of Redline products.
And I've never had
very
Redline
nice.
products fail me.
Yeah, and they have some excellent customer support. Wolverine, I mean, I'm not saying Wolverine is an inferior product. They're very great. They're very good in their own sense.
So
it's a new product. It's also much more compact. So
Yes.
if you're working with a very tight, small backpack, maybe the Storm is the option for you, since it, you know, the Redline, the SFR, attaches to your tank, then goes out, and then it has a bar right there, kind of like this. But the Wolverine Storm is just another cylinder. It's kind of like an extension of your tank head.
See,
So-
Polar Star is also releasing a system similar to that, and they promise
And
really
that-
super fast recharge
And
rates.
that'll probably beat the Wolverine.
It actually might even be the Redline, to be honest, because
It's Polar
he just
Star.
does such a good job with it.
Yeah, it's
So
Polar
I'll be
Star.
interested in trying that. But the funny thing is, I don't have a reason to, because fact of the matter is the Redline system that I've had for 5 years now,
Still
it
works.
started to lag on me just a little bit,
You cleaned it.
and I cleaned it. It's perfect.
Yep.
It's dead on perfect. My FPS variation, again, this is both Polar Star and Air System combined, but it's a big part about the Air System. I have like a half an FPS variation between shots. That it's just,
Yeah.
how do you beat that?
Yeah.
It's like, why would I change perfection?
Yeah, right. If your variance is, your standard deviation is 0.5.
It's like,
You know, it's like, what's the point?
why break or why fix what's not broken? you know?
Exactly.
So here's my
Exactly.
question for you and for the viewers, because I like designing stuff. What is a accessory, attachment, an item that either doesn't exist or is inaccessible to affordable airsofters that you would like to see? I know it might be a bit of a tough question, but
So a tactical item that isn't available for airsofters.
and like maybe at
that
a
should
reasonable
be.
price at least.
I think that, I mean, this is kind of pushing it a bit, but
Go ahead.
I'm a fan of warranties. I mean,
It's not something I can design, but I do hear you.
something that you can design. Okay,
like
I'm
something like
sorry.
a physical item.
Okay. I'm
Something
sorry.
that, like, you know, you wouldn't, an airsofter wouldn't, you know, you would say night vision might qualify just because price point.
Yeah. I mean, if you could invent a different form of night vision technology that's
That
less
just
than
doesn't
$500.
count
Oh,
because
my
I
bad.
said that.
Right. Okay.
So, like I said, viewers and sales. And I'm talking like, you know, for example, we recently got the PTS metal angled grips. They're not Magpul grips. Those are awesome. I think those are probably some of the best angled grips you can get on the market. And they're only become recently available at like an affordable price point. You know, little things even. Or like the ghillie clips that I made for my gun the other day.
Oh, okay.
I really wish I thought to brought those in. We were halfway through the stream and I went, oh, mistakes are
And then we talked about how we made the mistake last time. We
I
should have
know.
brought it in. So
I know.
that's a good
Like-
accessory.
mistakes were made.
Man, we're failing today. It's all right. But geez, that's quite the question. Actually, Charles had a good one. A scope-mounted mini rail for scope cams. So I'm assuming.
Well, you
what
can
he
actually
means by
get
that.
scope rings that have a little rail.
Yeah. But I think what he's getting more specific is that like an actual mount for like a camera or something like that. Maybe it can be a bit more specific, Charles. But I think I know what you're getting at, because most like camera setups like Novrich, that's all custom made. Just about every.
Exactly. No, that was actually the one I was
custom
gonna say. Is even more so is what I'd like to see is using like a mirror type system. Is a camera where you don't look at a digital screen, you look at a true optic, but then kind of like a DSLR.
Yeah.
Is using a mirror system that has a camera that records.
What? Oh, your optics. So like, it's kind of what like the night vision recorder from TNBC that uses the prism
Yes.
thing. So if you're looking through your night vision optic right here, the GoPro is actually recording facing
Right.
this way, but it reflects off. So that's kind of what you're getting.
Yeah,
at.
exactly. I'd like to see a scope cam that looks through the same scope you're looking through.
Okay.
There are digital scopes which can record, but at that point you're looking at a screen, and I don't want to look at a screen.
Yeah,
I want to look.
People, I mean, like the YouTube editors, they make it look like it's a scope, but
yeah, I want to look through my scope and have a camera that does it too.
I understand your want for that, but I really feel that like Novrich, like his setup, like that gets absolutely the job done. Like you see just about exactly what you see.
It does, but like the same things is like when you zoom in on a target and stuff like that, and you can actually see where you're aiming compared to where it's shooting.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that'd be a really cool system to have, or even just like Charles was saying, a good quality scope camera that has a high zoom, no fisheye effect, and just small, compact, mounts to the side of your gun, and it's easy, and doesn't cost like a bazillion of $4.
Yeah, so he actually clarified something like a Picatinny rail to mount cams on scope, but lighter than current options.
Okay.
So okay.
Yeah.
Well, a 3D printer would probably fix your weight issue.
But no, I would. Yeah.
I've been avoiding answering this question because I still don't have an answer.
I know, right?
I can't think of anything. Like, I'm sure that you could show me something and I'd be like, wow, that's amazing, but I have a bad imagination with stuff like this.
How do you pronounce imagination?
Imagination?
Okay, you said it real weird a second ago.
Imagination?
I don't know what you said. You said like imagination or something. Imagination. I was like, fuck.
Yeah, I don't socialize with many people, so a lot of times when I like see words, it's just like on a screen. So I just have this, this idea of what it is in my head. So then when I talk to people, I'm always nervous pronouncing words that I don't normally use, because I'm not a very social person.
Fair enough. You know what's something else I would like to see?
I don't speak a lot. Yeah, what's that?
This one's a little bit more complex, but there's so much empty space in an airsoft gun compared to a real gun. I would like to see something that uses like the gas tube, or something like that to run wires for pressure switches and stuff like that. A super hidden, super clean look. Like you can run wires for a pressure switch, say like up the gas tube into the receiver into like your grip or something like that.
Okay. And for airsoft, because the gas tube does nothing.
Exactly.
That'd be interesting.
Just like like I said, I like clean.
Yeah. Kind of like how the Vector, it actually has a space for a flashlight to go into it.
Yes.
On the body itself.
That's a perfect example.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? We had discussed this in a previous. Actually, I don't think it was in a stream. This is a huge thing. I know it sounds stupid. I want a Bluetooth button I can put on the rail of my gun, and it's my PTT. I want a main PTT here like I regularly do.
I think I also brought up this in the last one, is that I think that I've tried something, I don't think I've tried that, but I've seen a system like that where it's a pressure switch that's your PTT.
But I don't want a wire.
And it's not wired.
Okay, because I've had one before, it was a wire. Okay, so I want a quality one.
Yeah, a quality one, yeah, exactly.
Maybe I can make something with Arduino or something, but I just want I want something on my grip where I can be, because this is what usually happens. I'll be looking down a scope at a person.
Bring your rifle down to talk, bring it back up and he's gone.
Or even if I'm laying down, because I'm aiming with this hand, I have to take my hand off the trigger to tell someone where that person is.
Yeah, and then you gotta bring it back on.
Right.
Yeah, that's annoying.
And I want to be able to literally just sit there and go, person at my 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
You know, and to me, I think having a PTT on your gun, even think of it, you're running through the woods and you see someone.
Yeah,
you don't have to let go. You just like squeeze a grip or something and you talk.
Yeah.
And you don't go every time.
Just hear someone like, okay, there is. Hey.
No, but think about how useful it would be. Or maybe like a glove button. Have you seen those?
Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be cool.
Iron Man style, to squeeze your fist and you talk.
Yeah. Most badass glove. Like, yeah, design it for airsoft. You know, it's pretty cool.
Well, that brings. This is just brainstorming at this point because I'm running out of stuff to talk about. But
yeah, I mean, there's only so much you can cover.
There's only a couple minutes left anyway. You know the mechanics gloves that have the LED in the fists?
Yes.
So I want those with nav lights.
With like red?
With red.
That'd be baller.
So when you're just walking around and you can be holding your gun and just press a button on your wrist and just walk around with nav lights.
You know what else would be cool? Like go to punch someone, you got like just like red, just like boom. You're like, I don't start a fist fight at a game.
Yeah, no, don't.
That should be the obvious one with that.
Right.
But yeah, no. Let's see. A question. Do you guys know if you can use the Wolverine Bluetooth FCU with the Polar Star F1 and jack? I actually think
I
that
actually
that's...
know the details about this.
Okay, I'll let you answer
The
that
Wolverine
question.
systems, one of them, I can't remember which is which.
One of them works, right?
Well, one of them is 5-volt logic, I/O logic, and one of them is 3.3-volt I/O logic. You can go, both will work with the other for a limited time.
Like it'll work and then it'll stop working after a while?
It'll work and it'll burn out the board.
Oh, okay, okay.
Or it'll work with a freshly charged battery and won't work when the battery gets low, kind of thing.
Okay.
With the 5 into 3.3, you can burn it out immediately if it doesn't have safeties, but I think they both have safeties at this point. The 3.3 volt system working with 5 volt solenoids, they'll work, but they'll open and close slowly. They won't be good. Like honestly, Polarstar is going to release its Bluetooth option soon. Just wait.
Yeah, I mean the thing, like Wolverine, I would say there's nothing wrong with the products. Just I've found in my experience, and Des will say the same, is that Polarstar, they take longer to develop something, but when Polarstar puts out a product, it is fantastic. There's usually very few things that I can nitpick about a Polarstar product.
Right.
They're very thorough.
The biggest change Polarstar made with their fusion engines over 6 years is
Anti-stiction
originally
pulse?
What?
The anti-stiction pulse?
Well, that's programming. That's something small. The actual physical item is they changed obviously the plugs. The plugs were terrible in the Gen 1, but that's just because users were plugging in and out all the time.
Newer solenoids?
Solenoids going to 200 psi around 120. It's pretty minimal still. You didn't get any benefit from that. Just easier for them to source. The big change is they used to have a CNC cut aluminum selector plate, which sounds great until you put it in a gun that's not a VFC.
Yeah.
And it's a royal pain in the ass. And so now they went with regular selector plates, so that you just take the selector plate out of the gun you're putting it into, put it on the fusion engine, and it just works.
Yeah, actually this is a great segue. I did this, but then you weren't done with your point, so I was like, again with the cheesiness, terrible. So Benjamin Tran, he asked a good question, which is a good segue into that, is what is the hardest AEG to Polarstar? And I used to say the MP7, but then the Jack was released, and then Bingo released
the MP5 Elite.
The VSC MP5 Elite.
I've tried to Polarstar it; it's a nightmare.
It's a nightmare.
And the reason being,
even a VFC.
Well, the issue is their 3-round burst system. They have 2 selector plates, and there's just no good Polarstar solution for that.
Yeah. Okay. The 3-round burst.
The selector plate on
any gun with a 3-round burst, basically.
Nah, mostly. Well, that the Evo can be done.
But actually, Polarstar released their FCU that goes inside the gearbox that you program with trigger pulls, and that one works with the Evo.
It does. Like I said, the issue is the Evo still has 1 selector plate. If you open up an MP5 gearbox, there's
it has 2.
There's literally a semi and a full selector plate on one side, and then a safe and a 3-round burst on the other.
Right. That's right. Yep. I hear what you're saying.
And I've tried to make it work. I wanted to put one together for the expo last year. And I took it out and stared at it for like 2 hours, trying to come up with a solution. I even was willing to go home and print stuff for it.
Nothing.
I would definitely say that's one of the hardest.
I was thinking, like I said, but then Bingo came out with with his kit for the MP7s, which is great. I'm thinking, like, did they ever make an AEG Uzi? Because I'd say that would be it. Really anything like,
sure.
Really any submachine gun like
an four. Yeah, pistol is AEP. Yeah, really any version 4 gearbox, which is AEP, automatic electric pistol gearboxes.
Yeah.
You know what would be cool is do you remember the old SEMA Glock?
Maybe.
The cyber gun Glock. It was an AEP, and it was an electric pistol, and it had like 50-round magazines. If you could HPA that, it'd be such a baller sidearm.
That would be kind of cool, yeah.
Just
pop, 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 pop. Make everyone hate you. At that point, just build a shorty M4.
No, because it would literally fit in a Glock holster.
But that.
Oh, come on. It had a high cap. It had a high cap magazine. Tell me that wouldn't be so cool.
You ever play Titanfall?
No.
It's like the smart pistol. In Titanfall, there's a weapon called the smart pistol.
On this screen. I keep bringing it over here and it ends up over there.
But in Titanfall, there's a smart pistol where you don't even need to aim, and you just what is it? You don't even need to aim, and it just automatically locks onto targets. It's such a troll gun, but it's just so easy. I feel like that's what it would be. It's just like, just HPA it and just blah.
All right,
the same thing.
Here it is. This is the Cybergun SEMA, I should say. It's discontinued because Glock. But this is the SEMA
Glock.
electric Glock, and it had a 50-round magazine.
And someone's ruined it.
Yeah, they've ruined it. Point being, though, is if you HPA'd that, it'd be so cool.
That would be cool, yeah.
Like I said, it should be a little sidearm.
That'd be neat.
One last comment before we go into closing arguments. I don't know. Is one thing I really want to say in AAG.
Closing remarks.
Is especially for the HPA powered systems, but I'd like to see a gearbox where the motor's put in the buffer tube, not in the grip, so you can use real steel grips.
I would like that. I mean,
really,
where would the battery go then? I mean, front wired, I guess, right?
Or you just put it in the stock. Like you'd have to use a crane stock.
Yeah, it could work. Yeah.
And you get to use real grips. I would like that a lot.
Yeah.
Or an HPA, just like some kind of conversion for anybody using HPA to put real grips on their AEG gun. Because they're just so much more comfortable.
Yeah, because they're thinner, because they don't have to
thinner,
have that.
Exactly. I hate how fat.
There we go. There's my answer, right? Here's my answer. To your question for something that design that hasn't been made, I know it now.
Okay, get to your point.
Okay. So most pistol grips on M4s are wide because they have to accommodate for the motor. Mm-hmm. So we design an HPA grip designed for guns that no longer need the motor, a thin grip.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but that's exactly what you're saying?
Yes.
Oh, all right. That's my idea then. That's my idea.
I really hope you guys could just back up the stream a little bit here.
You
interrupted me saying that to say what I was saying.
Just don't do that. Let's just end it. All right. July 2nd, Follow the Rising Sun. August 26th, Crazy 8 event. Jet will be there. All the other things. All right, good night.
Bye.
Oh, wait, we're actually finishing that? No,
yeah.
It's
6:35.
Yeah, we are. But that's not how I want to make my closing. I don't want to make my closing remarks like that. That was really insincere. No, but honestly, guys, I'm not going to end the stream like, yeah, that's what we're doing. Good night. No. But seriously, for everyone that's still watching, July 2nd, make sure that you come to that. It's going to be a great time. Not too hardcore, like show up in a Hawaiian shirt. It is the South Pacific. It's going to be a great time. Great raffle at the end. August 8 event. If it's basically a little mini SHOT Show here at Extreme Airsoft.
Summer camps.
Summer camps. That's a good one. Thank you. Summer camps. So if you're below the age of 16 and above the age of 10, come to our summer camps. I'm going to be doing one of the days, maybe even two. And if so, I'll be doing everything from cover to cover tactics, weapon theory, and CQB theory.
And knowing James, he'll probably turn the lights off.
Yeah, and I'll just what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the trainings just so I can train with my night vision.
Just have little targets.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll just have live targets. I'll be just like the horseman at P&L Airsoft. What? That's what they did, okay? And this isn't me being a Durka member who doesn't like them, because I have no beef with them. But
clearly.
No, but not as a Durka member, I don't have any beef with them. But the thing is, when New England Airsoft events ran events, this was a couple years ago, they don't do it anymore because everyone figured it out. But what they would do is they would set up the field so that their in-house team had the distinct advantage. They'd stack that team and then run events, advertise it, and people would show up and they use it to train. They would set up an environment for their team to use.
Because the best thing to do is train in a highly advantageous situation.
Yes, exactly. It was so stupid, but no, I'm not going to do that for the trainings. It should be a great time. I'm going to punish you with physical labor. Maybe I shouldn't say that to advertise it, but it's not going to be one of those, yeah, we made arts and crafts today. Like, it's actually, I plan on running at least my days like an actual training day. Mm-hmm. I want you guys to get something out of it. I really do care, because this is something that I love.
Would I be able to do a day?
Yeah, come by.
I kind of want to.
If you have something to offer to it, absolutely. But that's it. Thank you for those guys who watch.
Yeah, once again, like I said, we love doing this. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the stream. As always, I say it every week, but if there's something you guys want to see, you want us to talk about, throw it in the comments. Like, seriously, we are totally open to ideas. We've been 22 weeks now. We've kind of covered a lot, but there's so much to cover and so much to talk about, and it might be something we're not even thinking about. But
Benjamin, yes, sorry to interrupt you, but right before we end, Ben, yes, you do get to open usually for open games. Like usually, what we'll do at the very end of the day, the last 30 minutes to hour will actually be used to apply everything you've learned.
Yes.
So I'm actually going
Kind
to
of
set
like
up
you
a
do
scrimmage.
if you're doing like a sports training camp.
Exactly.
You play at the end.
Yeah, exactly. You apply what you've learned. So that's absolutely going to be happening.
All right, sweet. All right, and once again, thanks guys for watching. We will see you next week. We'll be announcing next week's topic sometime this week.
Yep.
This Thursday is, what's the video for this Thursday?
So this Thursday is actually going to be a tech video done by myself.
A continuation of the other weeks, right?
Yes. So this is episode 2. We're going to be doing. This is going to be a 3-part series. Episode 2 will be everything. We'll basically go over how to remove the gearbox. It should be a pretty good video. I think it's like 12 minutes. I mean, I did it, so I feel really bad about it. Like I feel like I could have done better, of course. But hey, watch it, throw it a like, give it a dislike if it really sucks, so we can make it better next time. But it's going to go over everything from diagnosing issues like figuring out if your motor is the issue, how to test your motor outside of your gun, following the electrical connections to make sure, like, maybe if my gun isn't shooting, is it an electrical issue that lies with the outside of the gun, or is it further deep in the gearbox?
You don't have to open your gearbox.
Exactly. And also how to unjam your gearbox by pulling the cutoff lever, stuff like that.
And then in a couple weeks, we're going to do actual into the gearbox, right?
Yes.
Like simple in gearbox stuff.
Yes.
I'll probably help you out with that video.
Yeah. I know. I've been into gearboxes before. My real expertise is HPA systems
And
like
making guns look
Polar
cool.
Star. Yeah, what?
And making guns look cool.
Exactly, in that I can work on AEGs, but as for Des has been doing this for years. He has more to say on it. It's
Fair
really
enough.
just he's more experienced.
And we're actually going to end now. I'll see you guys later.
Wait, there's one more thing.
No.
No,
Have a great night.
Actually,
Like I said, peace.
see you guys later.